Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Bussin With The Boys recap. This is the college football and NFL recap. First off, Bussin With The Boys is presented by FanDuel Sportsbook, America's #1 sportsbook. Did you know that, Will?
I knew that.
So this Thursday, we got Pats and Jets. Who's scoring? Travion Henderson, Stephon Diggs, Breece Hall. Listen, if you think you know the answer, FanDuel's got the place to go, because if you opt in to the Thursday Night Football Touchdown Jackpot promo and place an anytime touchdown score bet on Stephon or Breece or whoever you think is going to score on Thursday, you can win a share of $2 million in bonus bets if they score the first, wait for this, or the last touchdown of the game. Again, 3 easy steps. Opt into the promo on FanDuel, place an anytime touchdown score bet on Thursday night game, and keep tabs on your player. If your player scores the first or last touchdown of the game, if they do, you'll win your bet and share a $2 million bonus bet. Just hit FanDuel.com/Bussin to get started. Boys, electric weekend of football. Electric weekend. We'll start with Saturday. Let's get this one out of the way.
And just to let the audience know, the stakes are obviously getting higher toward the end of the football season. We'll be talking all things college football in this episode. We're going to be releasing the NFL one shortly after. But we have a huge one this week, a massive Saturday that we just had. A&M dominates Missouri.
NFL's coming first. Mitch is doing this. That means NFL comes first, and then shortly after
the way we're sitting.
So you're listening to this. You've already hit the NFL.
Yes.
And you want yourself a little college portion. That's what you're getting at right now.
Right. There we go.
And you heard this also on the NFL portion, which we're going to shoot a little bit later.
Yes, and Coach Joey McGuire, he's going to be tuning in to Bussin With The Boys to talk about his big win out in Lubbock, Texas.
Love it.
We're covering everything: conference breakdown, Heisman conversations, the college football playoff. By the way, shout out to the ACC for shitting the bed.
Yeah, shout out ACC.
Shout out
Making
to the
it
ACC
easy for everybody out there, huh?
The bed.
Who's winning that thing now? Georgia Tech's winning it? That's what's happening? And did Miami find themselves now they have a possibility to jump into the championship game?
So they could. This will be for any ACC sickos out there, but Georgia Tech is 8-1. Virginia gets upset by Wake. Louisville gets upset by Cal. So you have Virginia's a 2-loss team, Louisville's a 2-loss team, Pitt's a 2-loss team, and Miami all 2-loss teams. So I think it is safe to say that there will only be one ACC team getting in.
There will be one. There will only be one. I know, dude.
No, I don't know. If Georgia Tech only has one loss and they lose their conference championship game, they might not get eliminated because they didn't eliminate SMU last year in the same scenario.
But
great call.
That's a great call. They would have to beat, obviously, with them being a one loss or losing the championship. That means they're beating Georgia.
They'd have to beat Georgia.
So we need Georgia to take care of business. Georgia takes care of business. Only one ACC team's getting in.
Boys, I feel like, is this bus a little anti-ACC right now?
Yes, very.
Whoa, why?
Very
Why?
anti-ACC.
Why are you throwing this?
I'm not pro. I'm not against.
Okay.
Right now, I'm an independent. I'm just trying to figure out whose side I want to be on, and I feel like the line's been drawn in the sand over here. I just want to know where I stand.
Here's my breakdown of why it seems like we are now anti-ACC. Wasn't before all this chaos started to ensue. It's like Miami was supposed to be a dominant team all college football season until they did what Miami does. So when they lost to, it's kind of like, oh shit. You got Georgia Tech. They were supposed to be dominant. Who'd they end up losing to?
Duke.
Not too long ago. Duke.
They beat Duke. No,
they beat Duke. That's right, because they're all
Duke just lost to UConn over the weekend, and UConn has been historically
and Duke has just
awful.
weirdly been favorites against like Illinois and other schools. It's like, what are y'all doing out here?
In our brains, because us two sitting up here, we're more Big Ten than the boys in the back of the bus, SEC. We look at SEC, you look at Big Ten, even the Big 12 to a certain extent. ACC to me is just not, like, as far as depth throughout the entire conference. Clemson was supposed to be a dog this year. They weren't. Then Virginia coming out of nowhere. Louisville's a good football team. I will give Louisville credit. To me, that they've been somebody who's been consistent over the past
football
few years.
Team, playoff football team, or just good football team?
If Louisville would have been a one-loss team, that's where, in my brain, that's where you start to, okay, let's see them get in the college football playoff. But again, ACC with all these two-loss teams, to me, they're not a conference that's going to have a lot of these two-loss conversations that the Big Ten's going to have, that the SEC is going to have, that the Big 12 can have in a couple scenarios.
A lot of the ACC teams somehow don't play each other either.
That's what Pate says,
Yeah. That is very odd. That is very odd how that works out that way. Okay.
And the way everybody was talking about, again, all the massive implications going on inside of the
you went from
conferences.
having a chance to get 3 to
Correct.
now
Correct.
1.
So at one point, there was 4 that would be arguing.
Yeah.
4 that'd be arguing in the ACC around all this chaos talk from the other big games that are going on. It's like, oh shit, the ACC could really blow up all of college football if they have they have like 4 teams, 2 with 1 loss, 2 with 2 loss. They're all kind of beating each other. How do you keep them out? Now we know with these bad losses over the weekend, these upsets.
We know who they are.
We know who
they are who we thought they were at the beginning of the year.
So not anti-ACC, but just these upsets kind of saved college football.
I think we're more anti-ACC because we want to see like more SEC and Big Ten teams get in, and like with
these teams we
you guys are just you're not anti-ACC. You're just more, hey, we got to keep the timeline correct. And having 4 ACC teams in college football playoff,
they fucked it up.
I think 1 was invited. They said, hey, can I bring somebody? Like, you can maybe bring 2.
Yeah.
But that person wanted to bring 2 people, and we're like, this shit's getting a little fucked up.
Yep.
Luckily, a couple of people bailed out. Now just maybe 1 person's coming to the playoff.
This bus is pro good football teams getting into the college football playoff.
I like
that's
that.
it. Just because they have the ACC tied to their name, that's what's unfortunate. But it's like you're seeing these teams, and it's like they're not in these conversations with everybody else we're talking about.
Because what we're looking at, possibly 4 SEC teams, correct? Possibly 4 Big Ten teams. Now that is totally based on Michigan beating Ohio State, which last 4 years, but we know Ohio State's looking like a juggernaut. Michigan's still figuring it out. But you got Indiana, they'll make it. Ohio State will make it. And I'm assuming Oregon, Washington shit the bed.
Yeah, bring up Big Ten. Washington shit the bed.
Washington shit the bed.
USC.
USC's in there, but USC still has to play Oregon.
They do.
They still have to play Oregon. And then I think one other team that you're like, oh, that's not necessarily a win right there. So you're looking at those 3. And then if Michigan can beat Ohio State, you got to let Michigan in as well.
If Michigan wins out and beats Ohio State, they're
in. They're in. Like, Michigan controls their destiny. There's a absolute fucking juggernaut at the end of that 12. But hey,
if we want,
it happened last year.
If we want Big Ten chaos, Michigan wins out and USC wins out.
But
then you have a 2-loss Oregon.
USC schedule real quick.
If USC's a 2-loss team, they're in.
They are in.
It's Oregon who would be a 2-loss team that could not get in. Michigan could not get in.
No, Michigan.
But as far as arguments to get teams in, that's where it's like, okay, we would see some good chaos.
Yeah, but Michigan gets in. Michigan wins out, and you beat the number 1 team in the country. Like, you're in.
Right. I think that argument.
That's like a recency bias. That's done.
Right. That argument is for sure there. All I'm saying is, if you're looking at these 2-loss teams and only one of them gets in,
right,
you can't not look at the head-to-head with USC and Michigan.
They got Iowa, but it's in LA. And I think that's a much different vibe than an Iowa City.
Hey, look, this is a tough Iowa football team.
Iowa football,
it's a tough Iowa football team.
Can they travel out to the coast, though? Can those corn-fed boys look at the coast for the first time, not get distracted?
Can USC out-physical the more physical team?
They've done it before.
Right. So it's like this Iowa team is a tough football team. Now you can't sleep on them.
Can't sleep on them.
Can't sleep on them. Then you got Oregon. That'll be the big one. Then
UCLA, which we found out this weekend. They've finally been put in their place by the Huskers.
Yeah, TJ Lateef. I tried telling everybody.
What is? I know. We save Nebraska talk for the end, but what is the conversation surrounding Lincoln? If TJ Lateef has that game he had, 3 more times, is there a quarterback controversy in Lincoln, Nebraska?
Did you see the?
I saw somebody tweet that. I saw you tweet
Did you see
Ben Affleck in the corner?
Did you see Did you see Sydney Sweeney's interview last week that was going viral?
Coach McGuire's
about her denim outfit.
Coach McGuire, he can hear this. We're talking about Coach Rhule and the Huskers right now. Did you see the way Sydney Sweeney answered that PR question last week? Yeah,
until there's a problem I wanna address, I'll
I feel like there's something there, you will hear me speak on it. But right now, there's nothing there with TJ Lateef and being the future quarterback of Nebraska. This is one football game.
He's a freshman, right?
And he's a baller. But again, this is not a big enough sample size. If you're going to get a sample size of TJ Lateef and this would actually be a conversation, you would need 3 or 4 games of ball before you play like a good defense, because after 3 or 4 games, you now have tendencies to where it's like, all right, they called the game a certain way out there against UCLA for TJ Lateef to be successful, and he balled out.
And UCLA didn't know what you guys were going to do.
Right.
I understand that.
Yeah.
What the original question was is if TJ Lateef plays like that for the next 3-4 games.
Yeah. If that becomes an issue, that's when Will Compton will speak on it.
That's when we'll have the conversation. Let's have the conversation with Coach McGuire. Let's give a round of applause. Oh, he's gone.
Oh, he left.
He left.
He
He's
heard us
gone.
talking about the Huskers. And
He
he's
got,
like, "Look,
got a little nervous.
You're gonna have to get.
Got a little nervous.
He's like,
there.
I watch Bussin' With The Boys. You're gonna have to give Will about 10, 15 minutes with the Huskers.
Here's what I love, Coach. Hey, pleasure. So let's give Coach a round of applause real quick for being in here. Big win in Tejas. We have a lot of coaches on that after big games they get wins and they do a Zoom call with us. And every coach, like Dan Lennon, he's got the big O in the back with some wings going off. We had who's the coach for Notre Dame? Who's the coach for Notre Dame? Freeman. He's got the nice wood. I love the simplicity of your desk right now. Looks like you're sitting at a cubicle. You're keeping the main thing, while everybody is like, this team is spending all the money in the world. How does it feel to have College Game Day in Lubbock, Texas, and be able to put on a performance that you guys did against BYU?
It was incredible. I wish I would have got to experience it starting Sunday because they started camping out on Sunday. There was a party Tuesday night, Wednesday night, Thursday night. I've never seen anything like it. I wanted to be a college kid again. I mean, we had barbers out there. We had 2 DJs out there. We had a couple people doing nails. Thursday night went all night long. I mean, the entire night. So it was pretty incredible. And then having game day here, and it just made it even better that Friday night going into Saturday morning.
You got 7 days of partying taking place. You got 23 transfers. The number one transfer portal class this last year. Everyone's playing like absolute dogs together, like they've known each other since birth. What's the conversation like with these guys when you're like, hey, listen, I know there's some pretty girls out there right now, and they're partying Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday for this game. How do you limit distractions and keep these guys focused on ball? Because we've all been in college. We've all been out there. There's a couple parties going on. Nothing says I want to be undisciplined like a Tuesday night party.
No doubt. Couple things. One, we embraced it from the standpoint of like it literally you walked out of our front door and the tents were right there outside of our facility. We connect, our facility connects to the stadium. And so it was right outside. So like Wednesday practice, we walked through it going down to the stadium to end practice. So we embraced it. But the one thing, this is an old team. We like in our advanced scouting, there hasn't been a team yet that has taken as many snaps offensive, defensively, and special teams as this team has. So this is an old team, and they understand, man, we talk about it all the time, make it about the football. Like all the stuff around it, that's the great thing about college football, the pageantry, everything that goes on to get to Saturday. But when that ball's kicked off, we got to make it about the football. And they did a great job of doing it, and really policing themselves.
Coach, clearly the job is not finished. But going into the season, the speculation around Texas Tech and all of the guys that you brought in from the portal, the talk was you guys brought in a lot of mercenaries. Is this money and everything else paying these players? Is it actually going to work out? And you were having conversations with Josh Payton and everybody else saying that this is as close of a group as you've been around. Clearly the job is not finished, but now looking at the product that they put on the field, how proud are you and not surprised are you of what this football team has accomplished this season?
Yeah, first, I love your hat, man. That's awesome.
Hey, thank you. We'll get you one. We will ship you one today.
Yeah, hey, that's cool. I'm extremely proud. I'm proud of the guys that we were able to retain, the guys that chose to stay with Barron and J-Rod, Jacob Rodriguez, and, Ben Roberts, Sheridan Wilson, on and on, Corey Aiken. I don't want to miss anybody, but I'm proud of those guys because they helped me so much create what it means to be a Red Raider and what our culture is all about. And then, man, we had such buy-in. But one reason I think we had such buy-in, and if you came into this building, you would understand this. There's not one single person that's on my staff that doesn't believe that the most important thing we have in this building is the player. And they feel it every single day. So if you're our head dietitian, your job is to make sure that you're the best in the country at what you do, and you make it all about the player. And it goes on and on from the trainer to the strength staff. And we're like that every single day. We don't deviate from what we do. So they have a constant reminder that we care about them at a very high level, and they play like it. And I'm proud because in this world right now, It's all about, what have you done for me lately? It's all about me. And one thing that you got to do in a team sport, it's got to be about the team. It's got to be about, the greater than yourself. And these guys have really bought into that.
Coach, you brought up one name, Jacob Rodriguez. You guys being in the Big 12, him being a defensive guy, you have things going against you from a national media landscape or national recognition. Why should a guy like Jacob Rodriguez be in the Heisman conversation? And can you talk about the impact he has as a defensive player on the field?
Yeah, I'm not trying to disrespect anybody. I mean, I just go back and I'm a football geek. I'm about to, when we get off of here, I'm literally going to pull up the brackets of the Texas High School Coaches Association brackets to look through every level of who's playing who. And, I just go back and I think about different people. Like whenever Travis won it last year, how could you not give it to Travis? He's the most dominant. When you look around college right now, like I think the Indiana quarterbacks play. I think that the Ohio State quarterbacks playing at a high level for their positions. I think Jacob Rodriguez, I know there's linebackers out there, like Ohio State's got a linebacker that's playing at a really high level. I just know what my guy does down after down after down. And there's some freaky stats that haven't been done by defensive players. Like the dude's punched out 7 footballs this year. He had another interception that he tipped it to himself. And then he recovered a fumble. I mean, and then he had 14 tackles. I mean, the dude just he's an absolute machine, and he's everything right about college football. The dude slept on his floor as a walk-on during the spring semester until I had a scholarship whenever he transferred from Virginia. So it's just like there's so many things. Plus, his wife's a badass. She's a Army Black Hawks helicopter pilot. So
shit.
Great story.
Dude, that is incredible.
Yeah, there needs to be like some sort of like ad campaign that takes place for this individual.
So there is one there because the last time a linebacker has been in the Heisman conversation was Manti Te'o.
Mm-hmm.
Manti Te'o had about 110, 113 tackles. Right now, Jacob Rodriguez is on pace to beat that. He's averaging like 8.5, 9 a game. Manti Te'o had 7 takeaways during his senior season. Coaches mentioned that he's punched out 7 balls. He's forced 7 fumbles.
Already.
And he has 10 takeaways right now on the season alone. Yeah. So I do think that conversation will start really coming alive. But dude, that is incredible. The whole sleeping on the floor.
That is awesome. You brought up having conversations with players when you're bringing a bunch of these guys in. And one newsworthy type thing was you had a bunch of guys that played for you last year on the defensive line, and then you brought in a bunch of individuals as well. I want to know how that conversation takes place with these guys that play a lot of snaps for you. They're expecting to take the next step. They want to be a starter. They have dreams and aspirations of being in the NFL. And you essentially have to sit there and be like, hey, we're bringing in these guys. You're going to be more of a rotational player. Like, talk to me about those players, their ego, and how they're able to put it to the side and understand that the team's most important, but also like they're chasing their dreams. It's a very unique situation that you have in a world that everybody just wants to get the most money and the most playing time. We had a bunch of cake eaters in college football right now. Seems like Texas Tech does not have any of those.
It's probably easier on the defensive side of the ball than on the offensive side of the ball because, you do rotate a lot of guys. So you're going to have snaps kind of be broken up. But, I think one thing I can tell you is we brought in dudes. And so I think if you really understand football and you bring in a Romello Height and you're sitting there trying to compare yourself to Romello Height, you find out real quick that you can't compare yourself to that dude. When you bring in a David Bailey and you're like, man, I should be playing over this guy. And then you see David Bailey play. It's you're like, you have to be so delusional that you're not supposed to be behind him. And so I think that helps. You got to be real careful. I remember Saban saying it last week, got to be in the right guys and got to pay the right guys. And so I think that's really important. But I do believe talking to these guys too about, look, he is only going to make you a better football player. Because one, you're going to try to play to his level. And two, in the defensive line, you're not supposed to be playing 70, 80 snaps. You know, you're not supposed to be. And so you get some of that taken off your body, and you're going to get to play at a higher level. So they understand that. But that was one thing that was important. Is like I was talking to my GM, and I was like, man, when we bring guys in, if they're comparable to our guy, then why are we doing it? We got to bring in dudes that are definitely going to make us better, and our players can see that.
Mm-hmm.
Coach, I know I listened to your interview with Josh Payton. You brought up a couple mentors, a couple guys along the way, and it was Coach Woods and Coach Rhule. And so I reached out to Coach Rhule and told him that I'll be having you on this morning, and he wanted me to bring up your first interview with him at IHOP. How was that breakfast?
Well, I think we went through about 3 pots of coffee. You know, it was one of those deals I'll never forget. It was a Sunday morning. And we had to do it on Sunday because he works for me, David Martin. He was playing for a state championship in Oklahoma Friday night. And we had this deal to where whoever lost had to cross the Red River and go watch the other guy play. So I was supposed to interview with Coach Rhule on Friday. And I called him. I said, Coach, I'll come back Saturday morning. I'll do whatever. I said, but I can't watch my buddy not play for the state championship. And so he won his first state championship, came back to Texas and met with Coach in Hillsboro at IHOP. And my wife, whenever I was leaving, she goes, you know, you're never going to leave Cedar Hill. Why are you going to talk to this guy? And I said, man, there's just something about him, and I got to find out what it is. And whenever I walked out of that meeting, I called Debbie and I said, hey, if he offers us a job, we're going to Baylor. And the thing that he talked about is how much he poured, and he does. I mean, everything he said, he does. He pours into players. I believe in that. I believe in making these guys men that they're supposed to become, and he does that. He is a tough guy. His teams are physical. I believe in that. And so we just hit it off. And I tell everybody this, if I hadn't have been hired by Matt Rhule, because I was probably going to go to college. I had the opportunity, but that was my son's senior year, and everything was going to change. I wouldn't be at Texas Tech without Matt Rhule. And the reason is because he has no ego when it comes to pouring into coaches. And I walked by his office one day and he said, get in here. This is like 3 to 4 weeks into the job. And he goes, hey, man, you're supposed to be a head coach. And I'd been a head coach for 14 years. And I was like, you know, I like to think that I should be. And he goes, no. You're supposed to be a head coach at this level. Let me show you what you don't know. And it was roster management. It was about recruiting. It was about graduating players early, letting them start their masters when they still had 2 years left in the program. Like just stuff like that, you know, as a high school coach, I didn't have to deal with.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome. He also said you loved wearing a jacket in mornings in case they made the coaches run.
Well, let me tell you, it was pretty cold one morning. And I should have known by his reaction. So we're going to the indoor to do our fourth quarter. And it's in February, and I've got shorts on. And I said, how's it going, Coach? And he goes, not good. He was pissed off about something. And I should have turned around and got some clothes. Well, I didn't. And instead of doing the fourth quarter in the indoor, we did the fourth quarter in the frost and on the football field. And I froze my tail off. And then on, it didn't matter what the weather was like. I dressed warm for those early mornings because I didn't know what kind of mood he was going to be in. And I was going to make sure I wouldn't freeze my tail off.
I love that. While you were telling those amazing stories, I was handed a note by one of our producers. Texas Tech has never won a Big 12 championship. And I don't say that to rub it in. I say it because you're staring down the barrel of an opportunity here to bring home the first Big 12 championship to Texas Tech. Patrick Mahomes is at the game this past weekend. He's talking about, you know, when I was here, we didn't really have this kind of environment. It's so amazing to see Lubbock, Texas, like acting like this, crazy. They're camping out 5-6 days before. Now you have an opportunity to do something that Texas Tech has never done. You have a massive game with College Game Day there. Now you got UCF coming in. How do you keep the train rolling and keep these guys all focused, knowing that you have the opportunity to do something that's never been done before at that college?
Go back to Coach Rhule. You know, his big motto is what's next, you know, and I walked into the locker room. I was one of the first guys in the locker room after the game, and Jake Rodriguez, I think, was the first player in the game. And I came over and gave him a hug and said how proud I was of him. And he goes, Coach, I just want to remind you, this wasn't our goal. And we got more in front of us. He said, let's be happy, but what's next? And I was like, man, here's a player saying that. He said it to the guys in the weight room yesterday during our lift before our team meeting. We understood what a year this was, how big of a year this was going to be, because we can eliminate so many excuses and things that people use against us in recruiting. We have the best facility in the country. I mean, it's absolutely incredible. And so whenever people say we got better facilities, no, they don't. We share at the highest level whenever it comes to the revenue sharing. So it's not the money. The thing that people can use against us is we've never won the Big 12. So that's the next box we're trying to check off. So now we have no excuse to, compete for it year in and year out.
Coach, man, we're rooting for you the rest of the way, bro. Thank you for taking time out of your morning to join Bussin' With The Boys. Good luck the rest of the way. We will be rooting for you, and we will be, as a linebacker, I'll be helping try and carry the torch to get Jacob Rodriguez in more of this national conversation. But thank you.
Thank you, man. I'm a big fan of you guys. I freaking love it. I love what you do for college football, and really appreciate having me on, man.
We got to get out there. Yeah, we get out there in the spring.
If this is an invite, we'll be there.
I'm telling you, I'll take care of you. You had the best steak you've ever had, man.
Coach.
We gotta go to an IHOP. We gotta have breakfast at an IHOP.
I'll have breakfast at IHOP, 3 pots of coffee, and then we'll finish it off with the best steak we've ever had. Yeah. We're gonna get your address. We're gonna send you a bunch of dad merch, girl hat. You're obviously a father. How many kids do you have?
I've got 2 kids. My daughter is a Red Raider. She's a fashion designer in Manhattan, New York, and my son actually coached for Coach Rhule at the Carolina Panthers, at Nebraska, and now he's my running back coach. So
keep it in-house, man. I love it. That's amazing. We'll get you some dad merch. We're looking forward to seeing you during spring ball. Let's give Coach Warren one more round of applause. Thank you, Coach. Thank you for taking the time, man.
Reckham.
Yes, sir.
Indiana, Penn State. People would keep forgetting that Penn State's got a top 25 roster. And they showed Indiana that right to the end, man. What a throw and catch. Who was the wide receiver that caught that ball?
Cooper.
Oh my dude.
Cooper.
Unbelievable. And that Fernando Mendoza kid, he is just
that final drive
unreal.
Was awesome to see. The way he was spinning, the catches that these receivers were making, like only in spots that they could catch. Yeah. Him starting off and getting sacked to start the drive was kind of like, oh shit, like Penn State might upset this Indiana team. Everybody's gonna be waiting to say overrated, all of this stuff. You kind of see,
because it's the worst team for it to happen to.
Yeah.
If Ohio State got upset by Penn State, it'd be, the whole conversation would be around, well, that's a good roster. Those guys are all, James Franklin's gone, blah, blah, blah. Indiana loses. It's like, they are who we thought they were.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. People are begging Indiana to suck. You think so?
What'd G say?
G goes, they still might be who we thought they were.
They could be. Like, that's going to be the first thing. If they drop a game, if they open, college football playoff, let's say they're ranked in the top 4, because that's where they're trending right now. We'll actually get to watch them against Ohio State, most likely in the Big Ten championship. So we will get to see. But I just think, like, for Fernando Mendoza, the whole Heisman campaign and everything else, like, there are moments that guys are going to have, and I feel like he got to have a Heisman moment on that final drive. Like, the dude was spinning the rock. But they very well could be. Like, they could get their ass beat like they did last year in the college football playoff.
Yeah, they got 2 walkthroughs for the rest of their season. Yeah. They got Wisconsin and Purdue.
Matt put it on.
What's that?
Yeah, Wisconsin.
That good Washington football team. That's a good Washington football team.
What do you
arguably the best quarterback, running back, receiver trio in all the Big Ten.
What do you got, JP?
Yeah, Matt put it on our radar this morning. One of the Indiana receivers is from Father Ryan. He had 7 catches yesterday for like 130 yards.
Ooh. Is this the same kid who's like his career? He had 7 catches, and just in this game alone, he doubled his career catches.
Probably.
Because I saw a stat line. I don't remember who exactly it was, but it was like 7 catches, 130 something.
Nashville guys dominating college football, dude.
Love to see it.
Boys, man.
Love to see it.
What are your guys' thoughts on the Fernando Mendoza, Julian Sayin, Heisman race, Heisman conversation? I'm fired up about learning more about Jacob Rodriguez. You see names getting thrown around: Jeremiah Smith, Jeremiah Love, Ty Simpson in the conversation, Emmett Johnson getting in the conversation.
First player to have 100 yards rushing, 100 yards receiving in a game this year?
Yeah. I want to say he's the first guy in the history for Nebraska too.
Really?
I know somebody was kind of trying to fact check it. Like, I don't know if that's confirmed.
Maybe.
That's what was
I feel like
confusing
Amir
me.
for
I
sure
thought
would've done
Amir,
that.
even Rex didn't receive. He didn't play receiver as much as Amir, but yeah, bro. Emmett Johnson's flat out balling.
He's
this year.
balling out
Like, the
right
dude should be absolutely an All-American. For him to have, what does he have? He leads the country, I believe, in all-purpose. He's one or two. He's one or two.
He's
both.
second in rushing.
Second in rushing, 14 touchdowns. He's had 220 and 3 touchdowns this past game against UCLA. He's a baller, bro. He's balling. But to bring it back, like, what are your guys' thoughts on the conversation? I was going back and forth with some Ohio State fans. I'm doing my best to be like, yo, Julian Sayin is a stud.
He is.
I believe he's a stud.
The only game I've really been able to watch of Ohio State that like I really would tune into was the Penn State game last week,
Yeah.
and then when they played Washington, and it's like Julian Sayin is a good football player. He gets the ball out quick. He makes great decisions when he gets in a pinch. He uses his legs, his limited athletic ability to get him the first down and move the chains. They don't have like the best run game in the entire world, but my question is Julian Sayin that good? Or does he have the 2 best wide receivers in college football, and for that reason, he is that good? I'm sure there's some sort of combination of the two, and being a Michigan guy, I don't want to like disrespect the kid because I do think he's balling out right now, but there is something to be said about, Jeremiah Smith and was it Cardinal Tate?
Cardinal Tate, yeah. I think he does definitely have freaks around him. I mean, it looks like him and Mendoza are tied at plus 165 on the FanDuel Sportsbook for odds.
And the next one's Ty Simpson at plus 500. So right now it's a 2-man race.
I mean, I think Marcel Reed, with who he's like the teams that he's playing and how he's like played, I think he should be higher up. But I think like if Fernando Mendoza wins it, I think it's kind of like a boring Heisman Trophy winner because he doesn't really make flashy plays. He just doesn't necessarily make those mistakes. And Indiana hasn't necessarily played anybody other than Oregon. And I don't think, if I remember correctly, he played all that well. But like neither of them have really had like that's like their Heisman moment. That's their Heisman game. I think Jeremiah Love, he's a stud. And I mean, he had like 6 touchdowns in one game or whatever it was.
Yeah, I remember somebody said he would win the Heisman. I forget who it was.
For me, it's just like the comparable that I was diving into was being surrounded by freaks. People brought up Joe Burrow, and I'm like, yeah, well, Joe Burrow threw for like over 6,000 yards or like around 6,000 yards and 60 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And he goes on, he's, undefeated season. He's beaten teams, Bama, Auburn, Florida, Georgia. Like the schedule that Ohio State's had, if Julian Sayin surrounded by these freaks, because it's not like their run game has been what it's been in the past at Ohio State. Like Julian Sayin, like they would be dominating teams, and his stat line would be far and above anybody else's. And since it's comparable with Fernando Mendoza having like a Heisman moment that people got to kind of witness on the stage against Penn State when Penn State was about to upset them, I just think it's like, Fernando Mendoza has done more with way less as he's kind of come onto the scene.
I agree with that. But also like Ohio State, you can tell the trust they have in Julian Sayin because their run game is not as good, but they do not want to run the ball. They want to throw the ball. And so the kid's been putting the ball in the right spot. Very rarely is there a lot of like DBs drenched around these wide receivers, but he's still like, he throws a great deep ball, puts it right in the bucket. I mean, these guys going across the field, like there's no one around, but he's putting it right on the chest of the wide receivers.
Yeah.
There's a level of like, this kid has a lot of talent, obviously.
I think he has.
If I were to give it to somebody right now, it would be Fernando Mendoza for the reasons you said. Like he's got less players around him. I think it'd be sick if Indiana got themselves a Heisman winner. Ohio State, how many do they have? Like 5 or 6?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I just feel like usually in college football, there's somebody who's just dominating the stat sheet.
Right.
And if somebody's going to be doing it, it would be Julian Sayin right now. And it's just not dominant the way that you would typically see one of these beast quarterbacks, especially when you're surrounded by aliens, like dominating the scene all season long.
I do like the Marcel Reed.
I
like the Marcel Reed. Like he is a fucking baller.
Julian Sayin, I think, has like an 80% completion percentage, which is kind of insane.
Throws a good deep ball.
I
But
mean,
again, it's just
but
like
he has studs, so it's
Studs.
like you can literally just throw it up and it's
Two
not-
top
it's not a
5
50-50.
picks.
He'd look weird up there with all those other Heisman winners.
yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Like you throw a ball up to Cardinal Tate and Jeremiah Smith like a 50-50 ball. It's not 50.
Yeah, it's like 80-20.
Yeah, like those guys are insane. Shout out Brian Hartline for recruiting.
The
Brian
stat
Hartline.
dominators were supposed to be Lenore Sellers, DJ Lagway. He got benched over the weekend. Nuttmeyer, he was in conversations. He got benched.
What a weird year it's been for quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Like, was it Cade Klubnik? He was supposed to be something special.
Yeah.
And I haven't really heard about him at all since who they lose to early in the year. LSU, but then they lost to somebody else as well. Yeah, but the second loss when we're like, okay, Clemson's frauds, it was like Cade's been like now out of the conversation. Nutmeyer, he's got an oblique. He doesn't have oblique. Now he's like benched. It's crazy. Diego Pavia, that was a fun conversation for a week. Now he's 17th.
What about it? No,
he went off, but I feel like that conversation's kind of like gone away.
Pavia is up there for Heisman.
Yeah,
it says 17 right here.
Those are quarterback
stats.
Okay.
I was going to say I still think Diego Pavia has a real shot to win the Heisman. If they win out, beat Tennessee, get into the college football playoff, I think Pavia's got a real shot to win the Heisman Trophy.
Especially when you get the Pavia moments going. Like, if they win out and he's got the Pavia moments, he'll very much be in that conversation.
He'll have his Heisman moment if they beat Tennessee when those other guys don't really have a Heisman moment yet. But they will play the conference championship against each other, Mendoza and Sayin, for technically the Big Ten and the Heisman. Did I say when? Yeah. I'm taking Vanderbilt money line versus Tennessee. letting it be known right now.
Jack just ripped the microphone.
How'd your Florida Gators do this week?
We're focused on the next head coach. It was the worst loss in school history, to quote Josh Pate. They watched the games in black and white since the last time Florida was beat that bad. But
buying stock low.
Hey,
buying stock low.
Lane Kiffin will be the next head coach of the Florida Gators and Vanderbilt money line.
I mean, I don't care what Klump has to say. His opinion to me is truly that of like a teenager who doesn't know what breakfast cereal he wants to eat.
You really rounded that out, Jay, because I saw you like thinking through that insult.
Yeah, I'm not. At this point, Tennessee season's over. I mean, I'm just stoked for Vandy to come into Neyland and hear that noise. It's going to be loud as hell. People hate Diego Pavia in Knoxville. It's going to be loud. And I'm not saying it's going to be easy, but Klump texted our social group me while I was away for a wedding this weekend. It was the only text I even looked at, and it was Tennessee is going to lose to Florida and Vanderbilt. And I knew he was just saying it to...
No. There's context to that, but go ahead. Here, the context...
Porter, no. I don't want to be on the camera. I don't want to be on the camera.
Porter posted... Tennessee has a real chance to make the playoff, and I said there's no shot Tennessee can make the playoff. That's what the discussion was.
Got you. We do. Mitch brought it up. Marcel Reed Garrett before we came on. He was kind of saying that Texas A&M should be the number one team in the country. My question to you guys: why?
I mean, you're talking about like beating teams bad. I feel like A&M is beating teams bad. They beat the shit out of Mizzou.
Close there for a second.
What's that?
Close for a second.
Okay, a second.
Third string quarterback.
I mean, okay. But you're talking about like Ohio State should be blowing people out. They're not really blowing people out. They also had a close game against Penn State, who's garbage.
Penn State's not okay, so who is A&M beat outside of Notre Dame?
What do you mean?
Who's A&M beat outside of Notre Dame? I'm looking at Auburn. They're not good. Right, Florida's trash.
Arkansas,
they beat Arkansas by 3 points.
They beat Notre Dame.
Yeah, I said outside of Notre Dame, okay. Who's their best one? They beat Notre Dame by 1. Yes, but so is Ohio State.
Okay, I'm just telling you my side of the argument. I think that what they're doing is proving more than what Ohio State and Indiana is proving.
I love how Will asked a question. Like, I'm really curious what you guys have to say. Who the fuck have they played, though, G? Well, honestly, you tell me outside of Notre Dame, I don't see nobody out here. Who are they going against?
Here's what happens. People latch on to the Penn State. Penn State's a bad football team. Like, still arguably an incredible roster, which a lot of these SEC teams have. And they still end up like laying eggs. Like these teams that I'm mentioning are like not good. Okay, so people talk about Ohio State's schedule, Indiana's schedule. It's like, okay, well, what
would you compare Penn State's roster and Florida's roster like in that type of argument?
Yeah,
I think all these teams are rattled off in the SEC. At one point in time, it's like this could be a good team because they have good rosters.
So, but what was the score for the Penn State Indiana game right now?
One
score?
Yeah.
Okay,
game-winning drive.
If you're going to compare rosters that way, A&M beat Florida 34-17.
They also beat Arkansas by 3 points.
Okay.
They almost got upset by Arkansas.
This conversation is hilarious. Will's asking, hey, what's your opinion?
It's the same thing. It's just I have one belief and you have the other.
Well, because I was like setting that up because I'm like excited to have this argument because everybody wants to say A&M
45, 34, 31. They beat Notre Dame 41-40 at Notre Dame early in the year.
Notre Dame doesn't fumble the snap on the extra point.
Also, A&M should have lost that game. There's a massive holding on 4th down too. Say it again.
I feel like they're the same.
Yeah,
A&M and Ohio State.
I just think that they are beating teams at a larger margin than some of these other undefeated teams.
I think Ohio State matches up real well against Texas A&M.
It'll be a great game.
Yeah, it would be a fantastic game. I don't think you can take away Texas at 1 just because they're quietly beating everybody. And I think they're covering too.
Texas at 1?
A&M?
No, I'm sorry, Ohio State. You can't take Ohio State away at 1 because they're just they beat Texas, which is like their biggest win. Texas has come back in a big way, but that wasn't the team they played week 1.
Right.
They've just quietly been doing their thing. Like their schedule is their schedule, but they're beating teams, they're covering against teams, and they never seem they just seem very complete, and they're like on to the next. Like they seem like they're stacking blocks as opposed to these other really good teams where it's like, oh shit, are they going to win this week?
Nobody has scored over 16 points against Ohio State,
right? Which hasn't happened since 2013 or 2023.
Just put up against them
14. Penn State put up 14, Purdue put up 10, Wisconsin 0, Illinois 16, Minnesota 3, Washington 6.
What are their points? What are Ohio State's points in those games?
Ohio State, I think.
So here, I'll rattle it off because they haven't, outside of Ohio State versus Texas where they won 14-7, it's been 70-0, 37-9, 24-6, 42-3, 34-16, 34-0, 38-14, 34-10.
Oh, so they're blowing people out.
Yeah. Dude, they are.
Who are those teams?
They are the most complete team in college football right now.
That was Grambling State.
Yeah, 70. That was Grambling State.
And you want to know something? I'd love to see him trip up.
Hey, same.
In the college football playoff.
Whoa. Buddy, I'm letting
to.
you know, this is November 29th.
Oh, yeah.
Is the
my fault.
perfect game.
I would love to see Michigan
like
too.
Running the ball. Like if there's one thing their defense does not do extraordinarily well, it's protecting the run. And I'm telling you, if we can get Brian Hartline, because I have so much respect for Brian Hartline. Like him as an OC, he's obviously done an incredible job this year. Him as a recruiter with the wide receivers, like Ohio State is wide receiver U. I know people want to talk about LSU and all that. It's like you look at recency biased. All of the best wide receivers in the NFL are Ohio State guys. He has done amazing. He's got 2 top 5, probably 2 top 5, top 10 picks at the wide receiver position. Julian Sayin is playing incredible. But I'm just telling you, dude, Ann Arbor, Michigan, November 29th. This is the same 2 teams as last year, but Michigan's just a little bit better. Yep. Michigan at this point last year was 5-4. We're 7-2.
We should go.
I think we're going to stream it.
Hey, all to say, love arguing. Love all. That's what makes this sport insane. Sure. I would love to see Ohio State trip up against Michigan. I'd love to see Indiana go undefeated in the Big Ten Championship. I'd love to see Ohio State whoop Indiana to where all the conversations against the Big Ten, maybe A&M goes undefeated. Maybe A&M goes all the way to the championship, and then they just somehow lose to a rematch versus Notre Dame. Then the independent school Notre Dame takes everybody down to where, the SEC has it over the Big Ten. They play nobody. Ohio State lost to Michigan.
Dude.
Ohio State blew out Indiana. We know Indiana was overrated. They were nobodies. Now we're in the college football playoff.
Meanwhile, we're sitting here talking about 2 conferences, the Big Ten and the SEC. Texas Tech, Joey McGuire. Who knows? Yes. We could just be sitting and be like, hey, SEC's better. No, Big Ten's better. And Texas Tech just fucking runs through people in the month of January.
That's the winner.
Texas Tech, Notre Dame in the championship.
Big 12 and Texas Tech. That's the winner. I would love to see that.
Texas Tech's defense is real, too.
Nasty, bro.
I think they're like top 3, top 5 in like points allowed per game. I think.
And last year, bro, they were like in the 120s.
They're unreal. I love. They're
team to watch. We're cooking on the Bucks right now, fellas. Too. They're gonna keep reloading because I love the idea of Texas Tech just.
Fuck it, we're gonna.
They're in the best spot,
right?
Sure. Watching chaos ensue.
Yeah,
the best spot, and also, buddy, like just to bring it back to the Big Ten a little bit, everyone and their mother has been like, Oregon, we're done with them since they lost to Indiana. Everyone's kind of like, we'll see if they get in the playoff. We'll see if they don't. Like, maybe Dan Lanning has us exactly where he wants us. Because last year they're flying high, right? They beat the brakes off of Penn State, the Big Ten championship. It was really just a shootout, but you know what I'm saying. Everyone's like, this is the team. And then all of a sudden, a pissed off Ohio State team just comes and runs through everybody. But the Ducks, baby, the Ducks and also the Dogs. Go back to the SEC. Dogs don't care about your feelings. They really don't. And they just are quietly winning games and being a top 5 team and like kind of covering. They covered this past weekend, then not covering. But it's like Kirby Smart does not give a shit. He's going to be in the SEC championship against Alabama.
What about A&M?
Oh, fuck, you're right.
A&M, bro.
I just keep forgetting about A&M.
Did you watch the Oregon-Iowa game?
Yeah, I watched the second half of it. I was at Dave & Buster's with 5 kids by myself.
Iowa, I think Iowa hasn't.
It was awesome.
Iowa, their rush defense was like top 10 as it normally is. Like they allowed like 90 yards per game. I think Oregon rushed for like 200 yards against them. They have like a 4-headed monster in the running back room. Like they can like beat whoever, whenever they.
Pate said it. Like Oregon, everyone thinks it's like a high flying offense. They averaged 6.7 yards per carry on the ground, and it was 42 degrees. Rainy.
They beat Iowa at Iowa football.
Yes,
and it couldn't have started any better. A safety. 2-0 right out of the
them,
gate.
and then for Iowa to go up with 1:20 left in the game, and they're just like, "Fuck it, done."
Crazy.
I was praying for just fourth quarter. It's 2-0. Iowa kicks a field goal, then Oregon goes down and kicks a game-winning field goal to win 5-3.
Oh, that would be awesome. Like that Steelers-Chargers game last night.
Where did Oregon end up on the AP this week? Because the AP poll didn't have Iowa in the top 25 last week, so I'm sure they don't see it as like a quality win whatsoever.
Right now,
Oregon 7, they dropped 1 spot.
Yeah, I think you could flip. You could flip
too,
Ole Miss
buddy.
and Oregon, but
quiet.
Ole Miss is quiet. Everyone's like, the head coach is leaving, and quietly they're just 9-1, sitting there.
We have a huge one this weekend. Not to
I
start
do think
looking ahead, but it could shake things up.
Who does Bama got this weekend?
Oklahoma.
Yeah,
because Oklahoma's just kind of sitting right.
They're a bubble team. No one's talking about them.
Yeah, but is Oklahoma kind of like Missouri, where they're like just begging to stay in the playoff conversation, and then it abruptly comes to a halt?
I thought so until they went out to Tennessee, and we all watched that game, and it was like, what the hell is going on here?
Better offense still, though.
John Mateer, like.
They just need more consistency.
They need better offense, but like
I don't see it getting more, dude. That injury, I do not see it getting more.
Yeah, and they have a bye before.
Look at Ole Miss,
Oklahoma
remaining schedule.
Yeah,
Florida, Mississippi State.
Don't sleep on the Bulldogs.
Don't sleep on the Rebels.
They won this weekend, or no? Just kidding.
And I'm telling, dude, that Florida game right there is a scary one.
It's at home.
It shouldn't be scary,
buddy. But that's when it gets scary.
Florida's dead.
We got benched for a true freshman.
Florida is the Penn State of the SEC. Outstanding roster, can't put it together.
Yeah.
Down their quarterback.
Hey, Bama too on that G. Like, yeah, it's like Ty Simpson's going to have to be connecting with these explosive plays. He had a couple where he's just missing. Oh. And since Bama can't run the football that well, like Oklahoma, I feel like will kind of eat that up. And it comes down to it feels like a matchup like Tennessee, Oklahoma, where you guys can throw the ball well.
The one thing I like, though, is our defense is playing their best football right now.
Yeah.
Like they're flying around, turnovers. Yeah. Like that, we didn't have turnovers last year at all.
Mm.
We had 2, maybe 3 this game, but we turned the ball over in positive territory and only come out with 3.
Yeah.
So it's like putting that away. Scoring with 20 seconds left in the first half, the last 3 games is the best feeling.
Yeah.
Send that team to the locker room like, motherfucker.
Right.
What do we think is going to happen in the Big 12? Who do you think is going to be in the Big 12 championship? Like right now, I know we have.
I think we watched that game this weekend.
It's going to be a rematch of this past weekend.
Yeah.
Do you think so? You think BYU takes down Cincinnati?
Yeah, I do. Pull up BYU.
I don't
pull up
know,
BYU
buddy.
schedule.
You need that. You need that.
No, I'm not saying
he doesn't need it anymore.
Yeah, I don't need it anymore. Yeah. It's just more like Cincinnati's been a good team. They've kind of been fun to watch and see what Sorzi's been doing. Yeah, it's BYU at Cincinnati.
If BYU drops to Cincinnati, does that put Utah in the Big 12 championship?
That would put Cincinnati in the Big 12.
Oh,
They've only lost one one conference game.
Yes.
And quietly, so Utah is just going to be in the playoff.
And they would need a little help.
Utah last week
They're
there.
2-loss conference.
Well, Utah
They're
might
two-
need help, but they're going to be again. It's like they'll finish 10-2, and they'll just be sitting there prime college football playoff
Right.
conversation.
CFP.
And if for
Yes.
CFP, because if you're going to have Oregon, Indiana, Ohio State, Michigan in there, and the Big Ten, and the SEC, you're going to have A&M, Alabama, Georgia, Ole Miss.
And yeah,
Is there any more that I need to be thinking of?
Oklahoma is currently ranked 12.
Yeah, but they're currently ranked 12. This is me assuming they dropped to Alabama.
Right.
So that would be the 4 right there.
So that's
And
8.
ACC is going to
champion.
get 1. So now that's 9. Like
G5.
a G5, and then you're going to have 2 spots for the
Which
Big 12.
Memphis lost.
Memphis lost.
Memphis was that team.
You'll have one. The Big 12 championship. The Big 12 champion will get in. Then it'll be like one other.
Well, here's
Notre Dame.
here's a situation.
Notre
What if-
Dame will be in. So that's if Big 10 and SEC get 4 in, which I don't think will happen.
What if like Cincy beats BYU, and then Cincy beats Texas Tech in the Big 12 championship? I feel like both. Obviously, Cincinnati will get the automatic berth. Like, you're not going to leave Texas Tech out.
No, I don't
Yeah.
disagree with that.
And who was saying that
We're all
the
playing these
committee
hypotheticals.
the
Let's throw 'em
committee
all in
keeps
there.
keeps the championship, like doesn't put a lot of weight in the championship games, correct?
They don't punish you
Do you
for
get
losing
it?
your conference championship.
Yeah,
Right.
You get the automatic.
If somebody
bid.
gets their brakes blown off, I think that they could.
If
be
you get
punished.
if
they're a 2-loss team.
which the only game I see that happening is possibly Indiana Ohio State,
But Indiana's undefeated.
right?
For
And they
some-
still get in.
Yeah, if they're a 1-loss team, that's where it's like they won't get punished for getting blown out in the Big Ten
Greg
championship.
is here.
Excellent. All right.
That is our college football talk. Hey, hell of a week.
Hell of a week.
Locker room will be coming out, or Bussin' With The Boys will be coming out tomorrow with Kay Adams. And then we'll have the locker room on Wednesday, locker room on Thursday, Inside the Bus Friday. Let's have a week, boys. Thank you guys for joining. Big hugs, tiny kisses. Make sure you are subscribed and leave comments.